Welcome everybody. All right, let's do this. This video is not going to be long. It's going to be short, but I don't want to spend time in class introducing the next material. I want to save time so we can just jump right in and do some activities because we're always kind of limited with time, especially at the end of the semester. So this video is probably going to just be like 5 to 10 minutes long. In this video, I'm going to introduce the next kind of language focus and kind of preview the activities that you should do with the material and getting practice with this new language. All right, so let me share my screen. First off, let me just tell you that there's a handout called Stipulating Conditions. This is the handout that accompanies this video. So if you don't have that opened up, you might want to open it up, download it, and open it up, because this is what I will be referring to. First half of the first page is a reference sheet, and then there's 3 activities that follow, quite short. So let me share my PPT. Okay, stipulating conditions. That is the last part of the semester. Holy smokes. All right, so what are stipulating conditions? I'm sure all of you know condition, but what is stipulating? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about right away. So what are stipulating conditions? So terms and conditions. Where do you see terms and conditions? Whenever you like update your phone, for example, before you update, it says, do you agree? You have to click agree. Or whenever you sign a contract, there's stipulating conditions. Usually nobody reads them. And the font is very small because it's a bunch of legal jargon. All right, so let me ask you this. Would you lend me $20? Let's say I come up to you and I'm like, oh man, please, would you lend me $20? But I'm not going to pay you back. So would you lend me $20 if I told you I wouldn't pay you back? I'm guessing the answer would be no. And I completely understand. So why wouldn't you lend me $20 if I told you I wouldn't pay you back? There must be some, but I'm sure in this situation, you probably would say, no, I'm not going to lend you $20. But I'm guessing that there's a situation in which you would lend me $20. So what is the condition? What do you need to be true in order for you to lend me 20 bucks? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. Bare minimum, at least, I need a promise to pay you back. So if I said, hey, I'm really short on money, can I borrow $20? I'll pay you. I promise I'll pay you back. And in that case, you probably would lend me $20, I'm guessing. All right, so that's a stipulating condition. So this is a condition. So stipulating condition is a condition for some situation to happen or not happen. So if you take a look at the accompanying handout I told you, this one, these are the 3 expressions we will be focusing on next. Even if, only if, and unless. These are stipulating conditions. So these are used to say that a particular condition changes the outcome or should be ignored. So let's look at the first one. Even if is used to say what will happen, be done, or be true regardless of the condition. And in conversation 1, we spend a lot of time focusing on first and second conditionals. Conditionals. What word conveys a condition? If. Okay, so if expresses a condition. So the condition always follows if. So in this sentence, I'll go to the concert even if I have to wait in line to get a ticket. The condition is I have to wait in line to get a ticket. So the condition always follows if. So in Korean, it's the opposite. It's whatever comes before myeon. So in English, it's just the opposite. I'll go to the concert even if I have to wait in line to get a ticket. I really want to go. So even if the condition, I have to wait in line to get a ticket, that doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter. I'm still going to go to the concert. So even if, so regardless of the condition doesn't matter. Only if. Now, this is used to say what will happen, be done, or be true only under a specific condition. So a specific condition must be true. I'll eat there only if you have a coupon. You have a coupon is the condition because it follows if. I'll eat there only if you have a coupon. Regular price is too expensive. In the initial example, you lending me $20. Only if, Robin, I will lend you $20 only if you promise to pay me back. So if I don't promise to pay you back, you will not lend me $20. All right, finally, unless. Now, unless, as you can see, doesn't have if in it in the expression, but it has the same meaning as if. We're going to talk about that soon. So unless is even if, only if, very clear, straightforward, easy to understand right away. Unless it might take a little bit to grasp, to fully understand unless, but you'll understand it after a little practice for sure. Unless is used to say what will happen, be done, or be true only if something else does not happen. It's the opposite. It's like the negative. Only if something else does not happen, is not done, or is not true. So I'll play basketball tomorrow unless it rains. So using unless, the thing that follows unless is the condition. In this sentence, the condition is it rains. I'll play basketball tomorrow unless it rains. I don't want to get wet. So, in other words, rain must not happen for me to play basketball tomorrow. It must not rain for me to play basketball tomorrow. Okay, so we're going to talk about unless in more detail in a second. Now, to get a little practice, if you take a look at the bottom of page 1 in the handout, you will see there are 9 sentences, each with a blank. What you want to do is fill in the blank with the correct expression, even if, only if, or unless. Now, in some of these sentences, multiple expressions are logical, or I should say fit, but there's probably maybe one expression that's more logical than the others. So what you want to do is fill in the blank. So let's just take a look at the first one. I will take this big shot of tequila, blank. I can have a glass of cola to wash away the bad taste. So what would you fill in the blank there? Seems like a glass of cola to wash away the taste is necessary, is needed. So only I will take this big shot of tequila, which is very strong and not very good tasting. I'll only take it only if I can have a glass of cola to wash away the bad taste. All right, so complete the other 8. Let's move on. All right, so I really want you to understand clearly how to use unless. So let's take a look at this slide. Here are 3 sentences. Which one is correct? Take a few seconds. Which one is correct? Now, here's a clue. Here's a clue. Unless you is the same meaning as if you don't. So let's look at the first one. Unless you don't finish eating your broccoli, you can't have dessert. So unless you is the same as if you don't. If you don't. If you don't. So it's like a double negative. So basically that means if you finish eating your broccoli, you can't have dessert. Doesn't make sense. Okay, let's replace unless you with if you don't. If you don't finish your broccoli, you can have dessert. Well, thanks, Mom. I'm done eating my broccoli. Okay, so that is grammatical, of course, just makes zero logical sense. Let's look at the third one. If you don't finish your broccoli, you can't have dessert. Bingo. So that is the correct one. So unless is basically if the negative. If you don't finish your broccoli, you can't have dessert. Unless you finish your broccoli, you can't have dessert. So here are 3 sentences. In each of them, there is unless. Now, what can you replace the underlined phrases with? Remember, unless verb equals if not verb. So in other words, oops. In other words, you can replace unless with if and change the verb from positive to negative or change the verb tense. So in the first one, unless there is a safe place to lock up my bike in front of the stadium, I won't ride my bike to the game. I'll just walk there. All right, so let's just replace unless with if here, and then change this is to is not. If there is not a safe place, same exact meaning. If there is not a safe place to lock up my bike in front of the stadium, I won't ride my bike to the game. I'll just walk there. I'll meet you for dinner if I don't have. I'll meet you for dinner if I don't have to work overtime. Replace unless with if and change the have to have don't have. I'll meet you for dinner if I don't have to work overtime, or else it'll be too late. So same meaning as unless. There's no way I can go to Europe vacation unless the price of airfare goes down. Okay. In other words, let's replace unless with if. If the price of airfare, let's change goes to the negative. Doesn't go down. Same meaning as unless the price of airfare goes down. There's no way I can go to Europe this vacation if the price of airfare doesn't go down. So that's how you can, I think, more easily grasp the meaning of unless. So it's if the negative. Okay, so here's just something I want to let you know. After unless, and by the way, that's here too. So this is in the handout. When you use unless in the condition, it's way more natural to have a verb in the positive form. It sounds really complicated and confusing if you use a verb in the negative form in the condition after unless. Because like we just talked about, unless means if not. So it's like if not, not. It can be very confusing. So for example, we won't make it to the movie on time unless we take a taxi. That's in the positive form, take. So for example, the verb in the underlying clause is in the positive form. Take is not in the negative form. And how can we replace this? unless clause with an if clause. We won't make it to the movie on time if we don't take a taxi. All right. So for the next activity in that handout, you want to complete the sentences with a natural action. Basically, the action will be something you can't do if the bold expression isn't true or doesn't happen. So this is the next activity here. Okay, page 2. So for example, here's the example. Blank, unless you eat all of your vegetables. So that has the same meaning as blank if you don't eat all of your vegetables. If you don't eat all of your vegetables, unless you eat all of your vegetables. If you don't eat all of your vegetables, unless you eat all of your vegetables. Same meaning. Okay? So if you're a parent, maybe you heard this growing up, blank, unless you eat all of your vegetables. What's natural? What's something that a parent would naturally say in that situation? I think there's a handful, but there's one like, you can't have dessert unless you eat all of your vegetables. You can't have dessert if you don't eat all of your vegetables. Same meaning. So for that activity, just write down something natural to fill in the blank. And then finally, there's one more activity, super short, page 3, right here. So there are 3 dialogues, and you just want to fill in the blanks. So let me go over the example real quickly. In the following dialogue, summarize them by completing the sentences. Here's an example. So note, use a verb in the positive form for the clauses after and left. Here's the example. Bob says, how about going out to eat tonight? Jenny says, I shouldn't. Doesn't mean I can't. It's not the same as I don't have much money. Doesn't mean I don't have enough money. Could I have enough money, but I shouldn't because I don't have much money. Jenny says I shouldn't. I don't have that much money. But if you pay, I'll go. In other words, Jenny won't go out to eat tonight unless Bob pays. So you want to fill in the blank. Bob pays. In other words, Jenny won't go out to eat tonight if Bob doesn't pay. Same meaning. So for the third activity, page 3, just fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks. And like I said, this was going to be a short one, short video. That's it. So for homework, just do those 3 activities, upload them. That's it. Great. Hope all of you have a great day, and I will see you in class next.